agricultural news, information, interviews, in-depth weather, and more. It's Terry Henne and his Farm Show on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW and online WSGW.com.
A partly to mostly sunny good morning to all of you. Jonathan Dent here filling in for Terry Henne on this beautiful Tuesday morning. I hope you're having a good one wherever you might be. Terry is out today. He's traveling out to Kansas City for the National Association of Farm Broadcasters convention that happens mid-November every year. He'll be joining us live from that convention for the remainder of the week as well. So we certainly wish him safe travels and look forward to hearing all of the cool stuff that's going on there. I had the opportunity to go a couple years ago, and it's a pretty neat place. So looking forward to hearing a lot of interesting things going on in the world of farm broadcasting and farming nationally. In the meantime, though, we'll take a look at some of the weather and the markets coming up in just a little bit. We'll start off with that weather forecast. A few clouds building here throughout the morning. Not quite as many as we were expecting, but we are expecting to see a few more rolling in here into the afternoon. A colder day today than what we had yesterday, though the wind won't really be nearly as strong as what we had yesterday. Westerly winds gusting up over 20 miles per hour out at the airport. Those have shifted to be more easterly. Could bring some moisture in when we combine that with the cooler temperatures as well. Could mean a few snowflakes here and there. Yesterday, we reached 43 degrees for a high midday, and it just kind of hovered there for the next few hours throughout the afternoon and until the sun went down, thanks to the sunshine that we did have in the afternoon. Clear skies overnight meant our temperature dipped pretty significantly, 23 degrees early this morning, with the winds kind of shifting around as things move to be more easterly. Right now, out at the airport, we're looking at partly sunny skies, 34 degrees, a northeast wind at 7 miles per hour. Downtown Midland's partly sunny at 34. Here at Radio Center, 36. So that's about what we expect to get up to here today. We do have a slight wind chill at 28 degrees for the what it feels like outside right now. As I mentioned, not really getting too much warmer today, though. Our projected high, 36 degrees. We've already reached that here. We might get an extra degree or two as we're getting a little more sunshine than what we might have expected. The winds out of the east driving some scattered snowfall as we get into the afternoon. It won't be nearly as much as we saw like with the system that came through last week, and it really shouldn't stick for as long either, but some areas may get a little bit of a dusting as we get into the evening hours here tonight. The further south you are, the more likely you're seeing something, though it's also more likely you're seeing some moisture rather than something snowflake-wise. Clouds clear up as we get into the overnight hours once things move out, a low of 27 degrees. Tomorrow, the skies continue to clear throughout the morning. Sunshine helps us reach 41 for a high, and that starts kind of a warming trend over the next few days. During the overnight into the tomorrow morning, winds shifting to be a little more northeasterly. Tomorrow night getting down to around 30 degrees, increasing cloud cover, carrying into Thursday during the day. A breeze from the south helps us reach a high of 47 degrees during the day on Thursday. Now, Thursday evening brings a chance for some rain. And right now, it looks like that precipitation will move through before the overnight temperatures fall too much. If they show up late, if it continues longer than expected, it could get a little bit messy, temperatures dropping into the low to mid 30s overnight Thursday night. But it shouldn't stick around for that long. And we're going to continue that warming trend into the weekend. Friday, partly sunny skies. That gets the highs into the upper 40s on the thermometer before dropping into the mid-20s overnight. And those clearing skies, not a whole lot in terms of maintaining a consistent temperature, but a similar day in store for Saturday. Keep warming up through the weekend, and by Sunday, we should start seeing about 50 degrees for a high. Continues into the beginning of the work week next week, with Monday projecting in the low 50s for a high. So we'll be below average temperatures here today and over the next couple of days, but after the snowflakes move through here today, we can expect some nice sunny weather. steadily warming throughout the rest of the week and on into the weekend. Our long-range outlook takes us through, are you ready? December 1st. We're already looking at the start of the 12th month in the year. We're looking at above average temperatures during this time, starting here this weekend, and above average precipitation as well. Average high for November the 18th clocks in at 45 degrees. Our average low, 31. So as I mentioned, a little bit below average here, at least for today, tomorrow. But we will be getting well above average. Well, a little bit above average. That's why it averages out, right? Our record high, 71 degrees, set in 2016. Our record low, set in 1989. It was 11 degrees that year. Sun will set this evening at 5:08, rise tomorrow morning at 7:36. The days are getting shorter. We'll have more on the weather as we move through this morning's broadcast. Coming up with our market report, small moves, I think, is what we'll be hearing when we check in with Abby Terwilliger with the Andersons. Then, as usual, we'll head over to Doug Klein at Oppenheimer. All of that's ahead, but first, the weather report today brought to you by the folks at Nutrien Ag Solutions.
Nutrien Ag Solutions has the local expertise to recommend the corn, soybean, and other seed products that are the best fit for your field. Plus, unparalleled agronomic support with products and services to unlock yield potential and improve crop performance from planting to harvest. Ask about our financing options to help you get more from every acre and lead the field. Visit your local Nutrien Ag Solutions branch or go to nutrienagsolutions.com.
They say there's a secret to growing a great crop. At Nutrien Ag Solutions, they beg to differ. It all starts with a strong foundation, and when it comes to fertilizer, there's no question that Titan XE drives dry fertilizer performance. They've been unlocking the potential in every prill of dry fertilizer with biocatalyst technology for over a decade. Visit lpi.ag/Titan or contact your Nutrien Ag Solutions crop consultant to drive your crop's potential today. Hi, folks. This is Terry Henne. You know, if you've got an aging roof, don't even think about replacing it, at least not before you call my friend Ben at Roof Max. Now, Roof Max, it's a revolutionary treatment that restores flexibility and extends the life of your roof. And it saved me thousands of dollars and a big headache. You know, it's safe, it's quick, it comes with a 5-year transferable warranty, and you're working with some really reliable folks. I've seen it myself, and I trust it. Just like you maintain your equipment, your roof needs care too, and RoofMax delivers. Call Ben at 989-859-6751. That's 989-859-6751, or head on over to askbenhow.com. Schedule your free roof assessment just like I did. Remember, RoofMax, askbenhow.com. Because a little care today can save you a whole lot more tomorrow.
For our market report here on this Tuesday morning, I think I said Thursday earlier in the broadcast. It's Tuesday morning, for those of you wondering. We're going to head over now to Abby Terwilliger with the Andersons. Abby, good morning.
Good morning. Don't worry about that. Last night I was laying on the couch and went, oh, good, tomorrow's Friday.
Oh, man, if only.
Didn't feel too good when I realized it was only going to be Tuesday.
Yeah, well, the markets aren't feeling too good, too bad here today. I'm looking at some mixed numbers.
Yeah, so we've kind of been all over the place a little bit, especially with beans. Beans, the highest it's traded today is $11.69 and the lowest is $11.47. So you're looking at a 22-cent spread there. Right now, we're kind of sitting right in the middle at $11.56, down one from where we opened. That's been the biggest player. I think, a lot of news came out yesterday with the first report, on Friday, and then it, playing in more into Monday. And apparently, the rumor is that they bought 14 ships of soybeans yesterday. So, kind of figuring out, what the truth is and that and whatnot. And I think that's what the market's kind of reflecting on a little bit, and kind of went back to pretty much neutral on beans, corn, and wheat at the moment.
Yeah, so a little bit of volatility early, just bouncing around. I just saw some red numbers turn green here. What are we looking at?
Yeah, so right now for cash prices, we are looking at 381 for nearby corn. Next year, 2026, we're looking at 404. Nearby soybeans, we're at 1097. Fall 26, we're at 1053. Red wheat for next summer, 512, and white wheat, 532.
Yeah, my numbers aren't as up to date as yours, and they're not as local either. So when we're looking at
Mhm.
kind of the outlook here, anything coming up? You mentioned the report that came out already. Is there anything coming up that might shake things up further?
Not that I've been made aware of. Not sure. I know yesterday we did have the first crop production report. I was just glancing through those numbers. Michigan for corn, we are 82% harvested, average of 80. In the U.S., we are 91% harvested, an average of 94. So we're a little behind on corn, not much though. Well, ahead in Michigan, behind across the U.S. And
Mhm.
then for beans, we are very similar, 95% for beans out of 93% average, and then across the U.S., 95% done on a 96% average. So.
All right.
And the other thing that did stick out on that report is winter wheat, the great and excellent. We are at a 58, and the U.S. is at a 49. So we are a little bit ahead of the rest of the states.
Hey, we'll take it. Some
We will.
interesting weather to be affecting winter wheat here as we get into the early months of winter. All right. Well,
Yes.
Abby, thank you very much. You have a good one, and we'll talk to you again.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you.
Abby Terwilliger with the Andersons. We're going to head over and talk with Doug Klein. The market report today brought to you by the Michael Sarr Crop Insurance Agency. They know that being prepared as a farmer means not only avoiding the bad stuff, but being able to take advantage of the good. That is the point when we're talking about risk management, and Michael Sarr Crop Insurance can help you do that. They're licensed to serve all of Michigan with both conventional and organic crop insurance. Their agents can be reached directly on their cell phones for questions or emergency. You can call the office at 800 345 7247 or call 989 868 4722. Office hours are 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Monday through Friday. The Michael Sarr Crop Insurance Agency. The market report also brought to you by Steiner Tractor. New parts for old tractors made easy. Lots of tractors out and about. Things are cooling down, and tractors more and more getting put to bed here, at least for the winter. If you've got some maintenance that needs doing, you need some new parts in there, Steiner can help you with that. They know your life and job both stop if that tractor stops running, so check them out. They've got a warehouse stocked with new parts for old tractors and the knowledge to help you make the best decisions for your machine. Call today 1-800-234-3280 or go to steinertractor.com. Over to Oppenheimer now. We say good morning to Doug Klein. Doug Klein, good morning.
Well, good morning.
How are we doing today?
Well, it's a pretty wild day again today. The stock market took about a 500-point dip this morning.
Ooh.
Yeah, so we're still down 400, so it's come back a little bit. It's just momentum selling. Once they get that under their, under their radar, it gets ugly. So hopefully it runs out quicker than, long term, but we'll see. Bitcoin fell below 90,000. That's getting, quote unquote cheap. I don't know, from 140,000 not too long ago. Home Depot had their earnings, and they said demand is falling short of their expectations. So they're kind of worried about a recession coming on, because Home Depot, they're the guys that kind of set the standard for what's going on home repairs and how much money people have to invest in their house. So that's going on.
That's an interesting
FMC,
early
the fertilizer
indicator to go
company.
with.
What's that?
That's an interesting early indicator to go with, but it makes sense.
Yeah, and so their stock is almost at a low for the year too. But FMC hit a new low today. Talked to a guy in the fertilizer business. He hauls fertilizer from Canada to farmers, and he said they're cutting way back on deliveries, and they're considering actually eliminating fertilizer potentially for for a year just to get through the tough low grain prices. Of course, that's going to drive the price of corn up if the yields go down because they don't use enough fertilizer. So could be an interesting scenario next year or the year after that. So keep your eyes peeled on that one. So anyway, here's your numbers. December corn is 436 3/4, up 2 cents. The March corn 449 1/2, up 1 1/2. January soybeans 1156 3/4, down 1/2 penny. March soybeans 1162 3/4, also down 1/2 penny. December wheat 546 1/2, up 2 1/4, and March wheat 559 3/4, up 1 1/4. Crude oil is unchanged, 59.86. Heating oil is 263.49, up 8.8 cents. Gasoline is 197, that's down 2 cents. Natural gas is 376 1/2, that's down 9 cents. Over to currencies. Canadian dollar. U.S. dollar buys $1.40 Canadian. That's down 53 ticks. The dollar buys 155.48 yen, up another 24 ticks. The euro's at 115.76, down 14 ticks. And the dollar's at 99.62. That's up 4 ticks. All the metals are down a little bit today. Gold's at 40.59.30, down $15.20. Silver's 50.48, down 22.5 cents. Platinum's 15.51.60, down $4.10. Copper's at 5.01, down 2.6 cents.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks for keeping us informed.
Okay, take care.
You too. Doug Klein over at Oppenheimer. Take a quick break. When we come back, we'll be talking with Eric Sawatsky with Yo and Yo Accounting.
Farm Service brought to you today by the folks at Quality Roasting of Reese, purchasing local soybeans, processing the local beans, and marketing local Exceller meal, which is a high bypass soybean meal for your dairy herd. They've been doing that since 1991. Quality Roasting of Reese, offering competitive, consistent prices for your soybeans. Give them a call for a quote today.
We're back now. We're going to head over to Bay Landscaping and Garden Center. We're going to check in with Jerry Samolsky. Jerry, good morning.
Good morning, Jonathan. Hey, I heard you the other morning talking about how you battled the leaves, and it was a futile win because as soon as you got done, they came all back again.
It's so much fun. I've got to do it a third time coming up here.
Yeah, so, I was fortunate. I was away for a week and a half or so and got back, and I didn't have time to mow my leaves up and in between then. So I got back and I had 2 weeks worth of leaves all piled up. And I was plowing on numerous occasions, leaves so many they wouldn't go underneath my mower that's set at 4 inches. So I finally ended up getting them underneath. And you go over them a little bit more, maybe a time and a quarter on average versus 2 times. You don't have to go over them the whole lawn twice, but some areas heavier than others. And they all went away, and it was perfect because they were dry enough that they broke up well, but they had just a bit of a moisture. So if they're really dry and fluffy, they blow out of the mower. They don't have the time to stick around underneath there and get chewed up. But it was great. And the other thing is if farmers are talking about adding, making sure they get their good green matter back into the soil. Well, that's how you do it with turf, is you get that those leaves and the grass clippings chewed up. They go back down in and they do wonderful things for the soil. Long term, that's the best thing you can do. So keep battling those leaves, Jonathan. Keep blowing them back into the lawn, and your lawn will pay dividends for that.
I'm sure it will. Jerry, thank you very much. And I'll be sure to keep you updated on how the war goes with the leaves.
Good luck, my son.
All right. Jerry Samolsky with Bay Landscaping and Garden Center. Farm Service Today brought to you by Don Morse Seeds. You put more into every acre, more time, more care, and more grit. And now Pivot Bio Proven G3 is helping you get more back with 3 game-changing modes of action that feed more nitrogen, boost nutrient uptake, and amplified yield potential. Proven G3 locks in at the roots to deliver steady nutrition when and where your corn needs it most. Lock in and see for yourself at pivotbio.com. And check their prices against synthetic nitrogen. Call Don Morse, 989-239-2791, or Allie Teal at 989-780-3770. Once again, that's Don Morse and Allie Teal for your Pivot Bio Proven G3. Now we're going to head over to Eric Sawatsky, Yo and Yo Accounting. Eric, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well. Hey, as we get towards the end of the year, some people are looking at W-2s, people are looking at paying out different things. When it comes to agribusiness, a lot of times farmers are owners of their own LLCs. How does that factor in when we're looking at paying out the owner?
Yeah, it's really important to understand when you have an LLC. The LLC allows you to determine how you are taxed for income tax purposes. So you are either taxed as a partnership, which requires just at least two owners to be taxed as a partnership, an S corporation, or a regular C corporation. So most of the time for the farm clients that have an LLC, we see an S corp or a partnership. And the reason why that's so important is when the owner's taking a wage or a salary or a compensation for his services to the business, the result is very different between the S corp and the partnership. In an S corp, basically they're employed or paid like a regular employee. So it'd be through a paycheck with withholdings and reported on a W-2 like a typical employee would. However, if you have an LLC that's taxed like a partnership, the rules are very different. So you are not allowed to have any of the partners that own the business actually take a W-2 wage. So that's not allowed to even have a regular paycheck and have withholdings like you normally would do. For a partnership, you basically have payments directly to the partner or the owner that are called guaranteed payments. And there's no withholdings that come out. Essentially, they need to set aside taxes or money for taxes to pay in with quarterly estimated tax payments. And then when you are filing the tax return for the partnership, that compensation, those guaranteed payments come out first, and all the remaining profits then are allocated to the owners based on their ownership percentage. So it's just a very different way of reporting. You're not going to see a W-2 at all for those owners, those partners. And then there's a lot of planning, of course, that goes along behind that. So very good to understand how you're being taxed if you have an LLC or if you're setting up a new LLC. And then to really talk with a tax expert to make sure that you're handling that correctly. And then, like I said, there's a lot of planning that can go along beside that as well.
Sounds like those decisions are kind of made when the LLC is structured. If people want to get some help from you guys at Yo and Yo, how can they do that?
Yeah, they can go to our website at www.yoandyo.com, or they can call 989-793-9830.
Good stuff. Eric, thank you very much, and you have a good one.
You too.
Eric Sawatsky with Yo and Yo Accounting. Farm Service Today brought to you by Krijak's House Family Restaurant in Bay City. Hey, we're talking about food. Thanksgiving is right around the corner. Whatever you are in charge of, Krijak's House can help. They've got an economical way for you to supply food for any number of events. With all the holidays coming up, they might be your stop. You can order what you want, just pick it up at the restaurant ready to go, or dine in, eat there, or take it out. Krijak's House is there for you. Call 989-894-5531 or visit them at the corner of Cass and Michigan on Bay City's south end. We're going to head over now. We say good morning to Craig Voorhees with the Rummel Insurance Agency. Craig, good morning.
Good morning, Jonathan. How are you?
I'm doing well. What do you got for us today?
Well, Jonathan, some folks have already given up on the leaves and headed south for the winter.
That's true.
Yeah, and I know some other folks that'll be leaving shortly. And, just make sure you get your house and all your buildings are ready to, sit for a while. Make sure you got somebody stopping in to check on things. If applicable, maybe shut the water off to your home unless you got a water-powered sump pump backup, then that's probably not a good idea. But and if you're tech savvy, there's so many devices we can have on our homes now, the smart thermostats, cameras, lights, just a good idea if you can handle those kind of things, put those in place. And really the number one thing is make sure somebody's checking on your home on a regular basis so you don't have a disaster while you're gone.
Absolutely. And I know that some, not all, but some local law enforcement agencies will just drive by the house, check things out every so often if you ask them to. So that if you don't have a family member or friend nearby, might be a good way to do that and save you and your insurance agent a little bit of hassle, right?
Right. Yeah. We're always trying to look, save the hassle, not just for us, but for the customer, most importantly.
Absolutely. Craig, thank you very much. We'll talk to you again.
All right. Thanks, Jonathan. Have a good one.
You too. Craig Voorhees with the Rummel Insurance Agency. Farm Service Today brought to you by Freeland Bean and Grain. They're your Dairyland seed dealer carrying a full line of corn and Enlist soybean seed, proven weed control designed to get you a better harvest. They've got good supply across all Dairyland varieties, including Vorseed and PowerCore Enlist traded corn hybrids. Contact Justin Varner for more information. Dairyland Seed, they've got seed with your name on it from your friends at Freeland Bean and Grain. Since 1983, where serving you is their business. Time to find out what's going on in New York. We say good morning to Teresa DeBow from Baird & Company. Teresa, how are we doing today?
Good morning. Market continues to struggle this morning with the Dow Jones Industrial Average down 430 points at 46,160, 466 million shares traded. NASDAQ down 226 points at 22,481, 707 million shares traded there. Some stocks of local interest include Caterpillar at 547.41, down 464, Deere 473.86, down 212, CMS Energy 74.52, up 6, Dow 21.47, down 20, DuPont 38.67, up 2, Corteva 64.63, up 75, General Motors 67.99, up 7, Trinzio 86, down a dime, Walmart 102.06, down 88, Huntington Bank 15.37, up 7, Independent Bank 30.28, up 20, and AT&T at 25.69, up 23.
All right. Thanks for keeping us informed on that, Teresa, and we'll look forward to talking to you again later this week.
Have a great day.
You too. Teresa DeBow with Baird & Company. Real quick, just revisiting the weather for you. Cooler temperatures here today and tomorrow, but we're going to start to see a warming trend as we move on into the weekend. Maybe a few snowflakes here and there with the cloud cover that we'll get later on today and into the evening. Today, a high of 37 degrees. I'm bumping it up one after our clouds are waiting a while to come in. And then overnight tonight, a low of 27. Tomorrow, 41 for a high, 47 for a high on Thursday. And by Friday, we should start to push that 50-degree mark. That's a look, or we'll be back at 12:30 with an update, so stick around for that. We now conclude with the playing of our national anthem, brought to you by Euclid Avenue Coins.
Broadcasting from the Stormmaster Exterior Studio.